All right, if you're with us online, we're about to get started. So go ahead and get your space set up, get your equipment ready. We're going to get going. What was that? Yeah, so if you ran out of pairs, then you can grab them out on the floor too. And you can set up a space anywhere here in the front row. Yeah. Unless somebody left from that one. Thought there was somebody there, but maybe not. Hello. All right, welcome back to Pump. If this is your first class, welcome. If you're with us online, thanks for being here. If you look at underneath the video you're watching right now, you'll see the description for the class, any equipment that you might need, as well as the movements that we have for the day. So you can go ahead and get set up before class starts, knowing that's down there. If you're here in person, I always have the equipment you need for the day, as well as the movements that we have. The format for this class is we'll have a 6-minute warm-up to start. After the warm-up, we'll jump into the workout. And how the workout works for this is we have 4 rounds total. Each round is broken up into 2 movements that you'll superset 4 times. What that looks like is we'll do movement 1 for 30 seconds and move right into movement 2 for 30 seconds. That's one set. We'll take a 1 minute, or that's one set. We'll repeat that 4 times, and then you'll get a 1-minute rest period, and we'll move on to round 2. At the end, we'll have a 10-minute cool-down stretch routine, and we'll send you on your way. For the movements today, first class is a little bit different. We only do 3 rounds for the first week. We have a little bit of bracing education today. No, first class, not first week. I fibbed. It's always a first class. For the first class, it's a little bit shorter of a workout because we'll do a little bit of bracing education. We'll just jump right into that. So you should have gotten an email from me about class if you registered before last week. If you didn't, let me know. I'll send you that email. But talking about the Optimize Your Movement series and learning about bracing and how to brace properly. If you didn't watch that, that's okay. We're going to do it together real quick. So first step to bracing, go and take whatever your normal stance is, just like a comfortable stance. First piece to it, think of squeezing the glutes, okay? Squeezing the glutes levels out that pelvis. Next piece to this, think of lifting that bladder, that pelvic floor up into your stomach. You can kind of feel a slight pulling right above that belt line, okay? That's activating that transverse abdominis, those deep abs. Next piece, think of tightening that core around that lift. It's almost like tightening a corset, squeezing all through that core. Next piece, shoulder blades slightly back and down, then head up in a neutral position. From here, as long as you have that lift and that hold, you can relax those glutes if you want. But go and take a couple steps with that bracing, and then go and release it all. You'll feel that slump, that drop that happens. That's going from being in a brace-supported posture into a relaxed posture. And the reason we care so much, when we're relaxed, I'm going to kind of exaggerate it. You'll see a lot of times hyperextend the knees, hips pop forward, shoulders kind of slump, and that head's forward, and you're kind of in a relaxed position where all of that weight is kind of more just resting on your joints, okay? A lot of weight going into that joint, that's not what we want, especially when we're exercising, adding additional weight, or we're doing plyometric movements, things like that. We want those small supportive muscles, supportive structures actively holding us into that position versus the joints, okay? So, still braced? Nice. Pull it back in if you lost it, get it back then. Want to try to keep that bracing really throughout the entire day, but just out of a 2 out of 10 intensity, okay? When you're working out, you want to make sure you keep it the whole time of the workout. A couple other reasons. One, it helps make you move in a correct movement pattern, okay? When you're in that brace position, it's harder to like break and round through the low back, which is what we don't want. Don't ever round the low back. And so it makes it so when we're doing plyometric movements, we're doing jumps, we're doing bends, you're going to move in a better way to load the muscles versus putting more tension and strain into those joints, okay? Any questions? All right, we're all still braced? All right, I'm going to check constantly. You're going to hate it. Somebody actually, I think, sent me, now we're way off topic, sent me, what are those newspaper comics? Just comics? You sent me that? Oh, man. I don't even remember who it was. There was a trainer talking about bracing, and the person was at home relaxing or showering or something. They just opened the thing, are you braced? Killed me. It's amazing. All right, so movements that we have today. First one we're going to have is push-ups. Since it's the beginning of the session, we'll go through all of them a little bit more in depth than normally, and we have a little bit extra time today because we're taking out a round. So, biggest thing with push-ups we want to make sure we're doing is powering from the chest, not from the shoulder and the tricep. Biggest issue or thing I see a lot of times with this is, one, doing that creates shoulder injuries, some other stuff you're not going to be near as strong. If you've ever thought, I'm not weak at push-ups, push-ups are really hard, probably not activating the right muscles because the pecs are a lot bigger and stronger than just the front head of your delt, okay? So, first thing, already braced. No, I don't need to say it. But pulling those shoulder blades back and down, lifting that chest up, hands coming right below that pec line, right about that sternum. From here, okay, that's the position you want for that push. So, we're going to do the activation technique together. Everybody pull those shoulder blades back and down. Bring those hands out in front of you, but still keeping those shoulder blades back. Slight bend in those elbows. We don't want those elbows locked. And now think of squeezing those hands together, but squeezing almost in the armpit, the upper arm into the chest. Start to press those hands together. Can you start to feel that area right in here activating, squeezing? It might just feel like tension if you're not used to that, okay? That right there is what we want, but we want to make sure we're not here when we're doing it, okay? Really get into this position. Keep that squeeze. On push-ups, this is the main muscle you want to feel all the way down, all the way back up, okay? So we're going to drop to the floor real quick. We'll spend a little extra time on this one than the other ones just because this one tends to go wrong a lot. So, starting in a knee position, you can basically walk yourself out onto your knees. If you like, I like to curl up my feet, puts less weight on my actual kneecap. From here, hands want to be underneath the shoulders or the chest, not underneath the face. If they're directly under the face, they're too high, okay? So, shoulder blades back and down, keep that chest up. Think of squeezing those arms in together like we just did to activate that chest before we go down. Keep that activation and try to lower all the way down. Tension staying in that chest or as far as you can control. And then slowly press back up, keeping that intention to the chest. So we're going to work our way back down again. Try to think 100% constant tension through that chest, the muscle we just learned how to activate, back up, okay? So, if you were feeling it mostly in the shoulder and the tricep, something to be really intentional about, okay? Starting to really practice of holding that position. And think of squeezing the floor in a little bit. That helps to overly activate the chest if you're finding difficulty making it activate, okay? Next movement we have is single leg lunges. So, with our lunges, we're all still braced, right? Dope, love it. Solid stuff. So, single leg lunges. For this one, we're staying on the same leg for 30 seconds, okay? So, weight is forward into the front foot. We don't want the weight shifted back onto that back leg, so weight is up and above that front leg. Weight, think even on the feet. You have 3 points of contact on the feet, here, here, and here. Those 3 points, you don't want you want the weight even between those 3 points, okay? So, weight's up on our foot. Engage that glute. When we go down, slowly control it. Weight still staying even on those 3 points. We're lunging right back up to standing, okay? Don't let that knee cave in. Keep that knee in line with that toe. Keep that arch strong, gripping the floor, okay? And that glute on 100% of the time. Don't let that glute shut off. If you're lunging and you're finding that it feels kind of difficult, make sure you're not too close to where this knee is overcoming this back foot, okay? Have a big enough step that when you come down, it's staying, it can be further or closer in this, but making sure it's not going over that back, or the back side of that front leg. Whew, we made it. And then we'll switch over and do the opposite side, okay, on that next set. Next movement we got Romanian deadlift with a low row. So this one we'll have weights in our hands, okay? Don't necessarily need to grab them now. Biggest thing with the RDL, focusing on glute work, okay? So really squeeze those glutes. We're going to do an activation technique, and you can do this during the RDL as well. We're still braced, so we don't need to talk about that. Weights even, almost think of the feet screwed into the floor, okay? Squeeze those glutes. Now think of, without letting the feet actually move, think of twisting them out. Twisting your feet and your knees out and squeezing the glutes. You can start to feel the outside of your legs until those glutes activate a bit more. That's kind of a trick if you're not really being able to feel those glutes engage, okay? So from here, you're holding that weight. You're just going to push the hips back, drop that chest forward, finding that stretch through the glutes, through the hamstring, okay? And one thing with this, remember, you can turn sideways, look at that low back. You can also put your hand on your low back if you want. See what it feels like. Don't let it round any. So really keep those hips rocked out, okay? Hips stay out. As you drop down, find that stretch, squeeze through the glutes, push the hips forward, squeezing the glutes at the top, okay? So that's the RDL. The row part of that is when you have the weights and you come down, you're pulling those elbows back and in and up towards the body, okay? Really focus on squeezing through those scapula on the way up, okay? Let's do a couple of those together. So we're in that full stance, weights even on those feet, glutes are engaged and on, pushing those hips back, dropping that chest forward, okay? And then from here, you can have that row, pulling those elbows back and up, squeeze through the lats when you're here. So go ahead and pull up, hold the position here, squeeze your elbows into your side as hard as you can. Squeeze them in. You should be feeling this muscle right here on the side starting to activate on your back, okay? Those are your lats. Those are two large muscles that are what are doing that pull, okay? If you're at home and you don't have weights for those, feel free to go hands over the head and just work on that RDL, okay? Really focusing on that glute engagement. Having the arms overhead is going to make it more difficult and give you some back work as well. Next one we have is going to be a low powered plank. So this one, we'll all drop down onto the floor. So we're in a low plank here. So go ahead and lift yourself up like you would for just a plank, okay? So we're here, we're engaged, that's your plank. So we're going to lower ourselves back down. Biggest thing when we're thinking of power plank, we want to actively work on engaging the core, okay? So squeeze those glutes. We're already braced. We never lost it. Lift ourselves back up. And from here, crunch the elbows towards the feet and pull the feet towards the elbows using your core. Really activate, try to crush that floor together. You'll start to probably feel a shake, that core activating, the difficulty of that, okay? That's the difference between just holding yourself in the position versus actively engaging the core with that pull, okay? Next one we got, dumbbell high hang clean. This one, you'll have weights, okay? Same thing with that RDL, but we're just going about roughly to wherever the weights come to about that knee height, not overly specific, but you're not going to a full extension, and basically we're curling, cleaning that way up, catching it, and then from here, and then bringing that weight back down, okay? So you're going to be here, kind of curl that weight up. If you want additional shoulder work, you can do an overhead press with it, and then come back down with that one, okay? And then lastly, we have high knees, okay? So moving quickly, bringing those knees up. Be really intentional about staying braced, staying controlled. If you get tired, you can always do marches. We'll do those in the warm-up where you're just here. You're not picking up that tempo too high. You're overly working on keeping that core engaged as you drive that knee up, okay? And if you're at home, don't have dumbbells for that high hang clean, you can do burpees today. So you're going to have burpees into high knees. It's going to be great. Hopefully make you get some weights. Any questions before we start with the warm-up? One. Yes. Good question. All right, let's get going. All right, starting with those jumping jacks. Pelvic floor up and in, that core is strong. Don't lose that bracing. We're only at about 40-50% here. We're not overly pushing it. If you want to kind of take it easy on those joints to start, you can be right here. My ankles cannot hang without a warm-up. Whew. Pelvic floor up and in, that core is strong. Air squats. With these, pushing those hips back and down, knees staying in line with those toes, keeping those glutes on the whole time. Weight even on the feet. Knees in line with those toes. Arches strong into the floor, gripping the ground. Good job. Glutes on 24/7. Don't let them turn off here. Marches, driving that knee up in front. Working on using that core. Be intentional about that core contraction, that core squeeze on each knee drive. Don't just want to use those hip flexors. Lunges, alternating. Lunge down, that foot strong, knee in line, that toe. Keep that glute on. Still braced. Good job. Arm circles. Full range of motion. Try to keep that chest squared. Don't want a lot of torso rotation. Reverse, opposite direction. Inchworms into push-ups. With inchworms, try not to round that low back, bend those knees. You need to walk out. From here, push up. You can do a few in a row for warming up the upper body if you want. And then pressing up that downward dog, stretching out those hamstrings, those calves. Jumping jacks. Round 2 of that warm-up now. We're starting to pick up that tempo, moving a little bit quicker. Maybe closer to 60, 70%. Still brace. Nice job. Air squats. We're picking up that tempo, but we're still controlling the movement. Not bouncing at the bottom. Also imagine there's a little tiny chair back there behind you you're trying to sit down and onto. Arches strong into the floor. Knees in line with those toes. Stay embraced. Keep those glutes on. Marches. Again, using that core, warming up that core here. Try to control that balance. Don't want too much side to side. Stay in line as much as you can. Lunges. For the second set, if you want a little bit of thoracic rotation, warming up that torso. Add a twist towards that knee that's in front. It's not a quick twist. It's controlled, slow. Job. Really get that chest open, turn those shoulders, whole upper body. Arm circles. Reverse. Really reach, full range of motion. Inchworms into those push-ups. Don't round that low back, bend those knees. Do that walkout. Take a break. All right, we have 1 minute and we're starting that workout. 3 rounds today. First one, push-ups, superset with those single leg lunges. For the lunges, you can hold on to weights if you want additional difficulty with those. Ten seconds, starting with those pushes. Remember, focus on that chest activation. Start it now if you're not as familiar with feeling what's engaging. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Elbows come back at that 45. Feel that stretch all the way through the pecs, that contraction at the top. Don't lock those elbows. Keep that tension in the chest. There's not many breaks planned in class. Take a break when you need it. Take a rest when you need it. Lunges, we're up. Choose whichever leg's first in that front leg. Remember, we're thinking time under tension. Pay attention to how many reps you get on one side. You get that many on the opposite side. Keep that glute on. Push-ups, we're down, 1 set in. Constant tension through that chest. Don't let it rest. Lunges, opposite side. Glute on. Knee in line with that toe. Keep that arch strong. Don't lock that knee. Keep that slight bend. Push-ups. 2 sets done. Halfway there. What muscles you're feeling it the most? Should be that chest. Lunges, we're up. Back to that first one. You're fully warmed up now. Ready to work. Push-ups, we're down. Let's go, let's go. Lunges. Last movement. And you get a break. Let's go. Still braced. Take a break. Woo. Burning legs. Oh. RDL. That low row. Into that low power plank. Remember, RDLs, focus on those glutes. Don't let those glutes shut off for 1 second. Should be on that whole time. Legs feeling good, yeah? 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. RDLs. With those rows, it's your own ratio if you want. You can do 1 into 1, or you could do 1 RDL into 3 rows if you wanted. But keep those glutes on. Power plank. Drop those weights off to the side, right down into that plank. Crush that floor together. Squeeze those glutes, tighten that core, pull it all together. Feet to elbows, elbows to feet, squeeze. Still braced. Switch, RDLs. Keep those glutes on. Stay braced. Power plank. We're back down. Squeeze those glutes. We're braced. Lift that core. Pull it together. Make that core shake. RDLs. Quick transitions. Keep those glutes on. Power plank. We're down. Squeeze those glutes. We're braced. Use the core. Pull that floor together. Switch. Last set, y'all. Let's go. Almost there. Focus on those glutes. Power planks, yos. Let's go. You get a break after this one. Let's work. Squeeze. Glutes are on. Pull that floor together. Take a break. Woo. Nice work, yos.
again. You look like a vision, but now I'm beginning to see through the haze. Don't be so fake. Your love is a hallucination. Don't be so fake. Your love is a hallucination. Don't be so fake. Your love is a hallucination. Don't be so fake. Your love is a hallucination. Don't be so fake. You're not fooling anyone.
As you're cleaning up, if you notice any black streaks on the ground from weights or equipment, we'll help out. See ya. We'll help out facilities, wipe those up. And as you're cleaning up, starting to slow that breathing down, feel free if you want to keep your mat out. We'll use it for our stretches. Whenever you're ready, starting with those deeper breaths, inhaling in through the nose on the way up. Oh, always brace. But like a 2 out of 10 intensity with that brace. You 12. When you're breathing in, send that oxygen all the way down into that low belly. Find your own breathing rate. Don't have to match mine, don't have to match your neighbor's. On that next exhale, whenever you're ready, we're gonna pull that first arm across through all these stretches, keeping that slight brace posture, keeping those breaths, stretching a little further on each exhale. With this stretch specifically, remember to keep that shoulder blade back and down, hold that back in position, you're gonna release and switch. Still working on slowing that breathing down. When you're ready, go and release. First arm comes up and behind, grabbing that elbow for that tricep stretch. And bring that back hand in between those scapula. When you're ready, go and release and switch. Next exhale, go and release those hands. Hands come behind the back, interlock fingers, shoulder blades back and down, chest up and open. And we're gonna roll that head and neck. When you're ready, go and release, inhale up and in. And on that exhale, we're gonna push back and down into that full floor squat. Working on trying to get those heels down onto the ground. You can't quite get those heels down, that's okay, just keep that weight forward on those hands. And over class, multiple classes, Work yourself a little bit deeper and deeper into that stretch. If you're here and you want more inner thigh stretch, elbows to the inside of the knees, palms together. Press those palms down, opening up those hips. When you're ready, you're going to bring it down into a seated position, rolling onto the back, legs extended. From here, bringing that right knee up to that chest or armpit. Giving it a good squeeze, holding that stretch, and breathing. And when you're ready, we're going to pull that knee across the opposite side of the body, keeping that arm and shoulder down. You're almost thinking of trying to bring that knee over to the floor on the opposite side. It doesn't have to get that far. That's the direction you're moving. To keep both those shoulder blades, shoulders down on the ground. And breathe through that stretch through the torso. When you're ready, go and inhale that knee back to center. Give it one last squeeze. When you're ready, let it drop down all the way to the floor. We're going to bring up that left knee now. Up to chest or armpit, wherever that stretch feels best. When you're ready, we're going to pull that knee across, same that we did with the opposite side. Keep both those shoulders down. Going that stretch through the torso. Sit back to center. Give it one last hug. Squeeze in. Go and release that leg. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly bring yourself back up to standing. If you want to stay and continue to stretch, feel free, but we're running out of time today. So we're going to finish with those last 3 breaths. These last breaths is a thank you to yourself for showing up today, giving the body a little bit of love, a little bit of movement. Nice work today, everybody. Great job. As always, if you're with us online, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you just want updates of whenever class goes live so you don't have to search for it. If you're online or in person, don't forget homework, good solid dinner, drink lots of water, at least 6 hours of sleep tonight. Don't binge that show. It'll still be there tomorrow. At least those 6 hours, okay? And we'll see you Wednesday. If you're broken and super sore, make sure you come on Wednesday. We'll warm up, start to feel a lot better, have some mobility movements, have some different things interposed. Biggest thing, improving here, consistency. It never gets easier. You just are able to keep doing more and more and more, which I understand is a terrible tagline for selling it. But you got it. We'll see you Wednesday. Have a nice night, everybody.